Welcome back. We are over a week into 2022, and many people are focusing on resolutions. Well, if one of those for you is your finances and savings, investments, all the things, if you want to come out a little better in 2022, financially speaking, we have some great ideas recently. I spoke with Nicole Lapin all about this. Let's take a look.
There's no time like the start of a new year to take a good look at our finances and figure out what we need, what we want, and what is busting our budget. From students to senior executives, everyone can benefit from some tips to make this the year you take control of your money. Joining us to share her tips on ways to declutter our finances and minds is financial expert and New York Times bestselling author Nicole Lapin. Her latest book is Miss Independent. Nicole, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks so much for having me, Christine.
Let's start with financial baggage that many people are possibly dragging into 2022. What are some first steps to simplify our finances in the new year?
Well, put that baggage down. It's heavy. The only financial problem you can't fix is the one you don't admit you have. So take a realistic look at your budget and come up with an action plan. I like to break down a budget. I actually like to call it a spending plan because it feels like something that's sustainable that you can actually stick to and allow small indulgences like a latte by the 3 E's: essentials, endgame, and extras, where 70% of your overall spending goes to your essentials. So your food, your housing, your transportation, your bills, your insurance. 15% goes to your future self, so your savings, your retirement, everything you're looking ahead to. And then 15% goes toward everything else. So the extras, that latte, the mani-pedi, something that is the equivalent of a financial Hershey's Kiss, so you don't end up binging on a big old hunk of chocolate cake in the middle of the night because you're so hungry and so deprived.
Oh, that's a really great way and approachable way to break down your budget. What about things like credit and debt? How do they fall into a spending plan? They can take up a lot of money that you might not even realize when you're admitting a problem. What's your advice to bring those numbers down?
Yeah, especially after the holidays where we probably swiped on gifts or transportation and we're, overwhelmed in that extras category. The first step for that, I think, is calling up your credit card companies and asking for a better rate. The answer is always no if you don't ask. And, oftentimes companies will throw you a bone versus losing you as a customer. It can go a long way, even if just the fees are waived, in getting your payments under control and paying down your balance.
Now, one area that can get out of control, especially since COVID began, are subscriptions. What advice do you have for figuring out what is worth it and what's just draining our bank accounts every month?
It's right. A lot of us sign up for those free trials that we think we're going to use all the time, but then all of a sudden $10 or $20 comes out of our bank accounts and we're not using that subscription or that app. So I would go through and actually be honest with what you're using and what you're not. There are apps and subscriptions out there that can save you money and are absolutely worth keeping, though. And one that I love for students in particular is the new Pearson Plus app. When I went to school, I'd spend $200 or more on a textbook. But this app allows you access to more than 1,600 titles for only $14.99 a month. And this isn't a boring old e-reader, Christine. The Pearson Plus app looks and feels more like Spotify or Netflix.
That's such a big savings. And are students getting the same experience from an e-textbook compared to a regular book? And have professors made that transition?
It's such a good question. There are a lot of different kinds of e-text options out there. If you think of a simple PDF, right, to a more immersive app experience, like I mentioned. And I was taking notes and highlighting up a storm when I was a student, but you can do all of this virtually now, where the Pearson Plus app can turn your notes and your highlights into virtual flashcards. And students also love saving time, which is in some cases more valuable than money, by listening to the audio version at 1.5 times or double the speed. So as a bonus, you're saving your carbon footprint with no paper, saving time, money, the environment. It's a win-win-win.
This is all excellent information for us to get started 2022 right and hopefully end in a good financial place. Where can we get more information?
Of course, you can get more information about the Pearson Plus app that I just mentioned by heading over to pearson.com. And if you want an extra 10% off, because I'm all about saving you money, you can put in Nicole 10 at checkout.
Well, thank you so much, Nicole, for joining us today. It's been an absolute pleasure meeting you and getting this great advice about our finances this year. Thanks for your time.
The pleasure is all mine, Christine.